Welcome to John's Corner, where our star reporter Jonathan always lands on his feet. He's a hard-hitting reporter who isn't afraid to throw a punch or to take one. He's always investigating the issues that others shy away from, uncovering even the biggest of scandals, while learning every secret he can. Here on John's Corner.
What's up, Blue Roof Nation? It's your boy Jonathan, and welcome back to John's Corner, the most consistent show on all of the interwebs. Alright, well, maybe not. Maybe not even close. Alright, look, man, I'm trying. Will you please stop judging me? Damn! Stop judging me! No, but, welcome back. It's been a while. Missed you all. Today we have two topics that are about as opposite and separate as pretty much can be. Like, they're so different, they probably should have been different shows, and I don't know why I'm trying to jam them into one show, but I figured let's just get it over with, knock them both out at one time. So I know it's going to be a real big shift from one topic to the next, but hey, let's just get into it. Alright, so the first topic is about essentially corporate greed, especially at the expense of the people who make their profits possible, the people who do the grunt work, the in and out labor. The second topic is also kind of about corporate greed at the expense of the people who make their work possible. Alright, but the first one is about Disney, and the second one is most assuredly also about Disney, along with a bunch of their friends. Okay, maybe they're the exact same topic. Yeah, alright, maybe they're the same thing. I just don't want to find out is, we just jump into it. So the first topic is really about copyright laws in the United States. Basically, if you create something, you have a copyright of it, and that's a good thing. You should own your intellectual property. Although you could always sell it to a corporation, and I guess that's a good thing. I mean, you make a bunch of money off of it. That's always good, but you always hear time and time again how screwed over the people who create things are when they sell it to companies. And then you hear people go, well, they should have just gotten a better deal. You're a jackass. It's the same people who go, well, people who took out student loans should honor their commitments, completely ignoring the fact that these giant loan companies are basically manipulating children. I'm sorry, even if you're 18 and you're technically an adult, you're still a child. You don't understand the way things work, because in high schools we intentionally don't teach people about credit and about how loans work and these different things. And you can blame it on, oh, well, their parents should have taught them. But if their parents never knew, how would they teach them that? And we put such emphasis on education so people feel that they have to go to college in order to make it ahead. And then we charge them obscene amount of money with incredible interest rates to go to college for a degree that gets them less and less in the workplace. You are manipulating, taking advantage, and intentionally screwing over and sacrificing the young in this country to rich corporations, and then you want to get on your high horse and lecture them. You are a garbage human being. That was a weird deterrent from what I was talking about, but your shittiness just made me take a side step. Back to what I was talking about originally. I guess making money off corporations is a good thing. But you hear things like these companies lowball them, they pressure them into selling sometimes, or they work out a deal and then don't honor the deal, and these creators don't really have any recourse to get that back. A lot of times the people who create things are screwed over, especially in Hollywood. They'll buy something from you and then fire you and have someone else write it, and you're just kind of left on the sideline. And they basically monetize people's dreams and use it as a way to control them. And yes, we can talk about personal responsibility, but at the same time, shouldn't there be something about ethics and morals? I don't know. That's just me. But that is something you can do with a copyright. You can sell it. But there's a whole other thing to do with copyright. So there's the other thing with copyright. There's an American law called work for hire. And that says that if you work for a company, when you create something, then legally that company has the copyright and not you. So, I mean, it is what it is. You invent something, but you don't own it anymore. This corporation owns it. They own your idea, they own your invention. And I have issues with that. So, under copyright laws, there is a clause that says if you sell the rights to your copyright, after so many years, a 5-year grace period opens up where you can file termination of copyright to get the copyright laws back. So that is what currently Larry Lieber, the brother of Stan Lee, is doing to get characters that he co-created back, like Iron Man, Ant-Man, Thor, stuff like that. And the estates of Steve Ditko, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and Don Heck, Hawkeye, Black Widow, are also now doing. So, to stop this from happening, Disney is now suing these people, or their estates. I believe Don Heck and... I know Steve Ditko's dead. I think Don Heck is dead too. Larry Lieber, I think, is the only one still alive. But they're suing them, claiming that these characters were created under work for hire. So essentially, they were created at the request of, I guess at the time it would have been Timely Marvel Comics or Atlas Marvel Comics, depending on exactly what the company was calling itself at that time. And that since they were work for hire, the mouse owns those characters and these people have no right to terminate. Except at that time, as the story goes and has been told over the years, the only employee that Martin Goodman really had was Stan Lee. Everybody else was freelancers that Stan hired. So if they're freelancers and they weren't employees, they weren't really working for the company. I guess you can argue, since they were paid to do a job, but these people were also selling story ideas to them, which would then fit under copyright selling and not work for hire. So the mouse really is skating a fine line between who's right and who's wrong here, which I guess is what a court case will decide. And it's also not like the mouse cares. They're currently suing the brothers who created the Predator to try to retain the rights, and there's no way you can argue that was a work for hire. They refused to pay Star Wars novelists royalties on their books that they were reselling. They canceled the EU, as you all know I have issue with, and then started reselling them under the Legend banner. They were then not paying the writers of those books royalties, saying that they had no obligation to honor previous contracts. One of the richest corporations in the world refusing to pay people royalties that are owed to them. That's who we're dealing with here. Personally, I hope these people win. I hope the estates and Larry Lieber, I hope they win their cases. I hope Disney and, I love Marvel. I even like Disney content. But I hope the mouse has to pay through their teeth to retain the rights to these characters to these estates. What they're doing is wrong. Give these people their dues. Do what Warner Brothers did to the creators of Superman, still rotten. But at least they got some financial compensation and their names are on everything. I think Steve Ditko's name is on his stuff, but still, the mouse has enough money to make these people comfortable for the rest of their life. Plus, what is right is right. Corporate greed is not an excuse to screw people over from what they're owed. At least that's my 2 cents. Alright, so our other story is also about the House of Mouse and all their other studio friends in the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, or AMPTP. I don't know if that's any easier to remember. But essentially, the International Alliance of Theater Stage Employees, it's a union of all the below-the-lines people. So like makeup artists, PAs, stage hands, grips, electricians, everyone who's below the line. All the people who basically make Hollywood and a film production, so that if you've ever been on one, run smooth, it's these people. They do everything, pretty much. So their union is organizing a strike because they're not a union, so the guild of producers of studios don't want to negotiate with it. Now the things that they're asking for are I'll admit, the things that the union is asking for is kind of outrageous. They want to guarantee that work days don't go over 12 hours. That's outrageous. How do you expect to get anything done if you don't work more than 12 hours every day, 6 days a week? That's just outrageous. They want to guarantee that they have their lunch breaks, which, food? You're only working 16, 17, 18 hours a day and you want food? What the hell do you get off? I mean, you can't even joke about it because the things they're asking for are so. It's just so basic, simple things that everyone should be entitled to. That federal law mandates. You work in an office and they're like, you're going to work here 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. And if we don't want you to go get lunch, we'll just pay you an extra $100 or $150. No other company, no other industry in the world, well, okay, I don't know about the world, no other industry in the United States would allow that. But the film industry routinely mandates that. You hear stories of people crashing on their way home because they're sleep deprived. You hear stories of people who have health issues permanently because of the lack of sleep and the stress that is brought on. I was reading, they have an Instagram account where people are recounting their stories, and a person was talking about how a person passed out on set and they told the ambulance to come with the sirens off so it wouldn't disrupt the shoot. And they just filmed around the guy laying on the ground. That is disgusting. I've been on some sets, mostly indie, and I've done, I think the longest shoot I've had was a 23-hour day. But that was one day, and then I got to sleep the next couple days. These people are doing this for a living, week in, week out, month in, month out, getting paid little to no money, getting given little to no respect, having no dignity. It's inhumane. And these companies, I mean, America's biggest export is the entertainment industry. There's more money. I mean, let's go back to Disney. Look at the amount of money that their movies are bringing in. Look at deals that directors and writers have. Look at deals that actors have and how much money is going into their pockets. You're telling me we can't pay the people who work on the film some kind of livable wage? You're telling me that we have to shoot 16, 17-hour days? Keep in mind, if you shoot a 14 to 16-hour day, the crew, by and large, are there before the actors and are there after the actors. So that's 17, 18, if not more hours a day. They're going home, sleeping for a few hours, and then coming right back. That's not humane. That's not acceptable. And an industry that keeps talking about treating people with respect and giving morality tales. I mean, you watch movies and they always, evil corporations and things like that. Well, what the fuck are you if you're treating people like this? You can't sit here in your moral high ground and point at other companies and say you're inhumane while you're doing inhumane things. That's not how it works. If you want to lecture other people, then you have to be better. And I mean, they even admitted that if the union strikes, it will be a death blow to the industry. And as much as I love the industry, as much as I want to be in the industry, good. No one should be allowed to treat other people like this. I don't give a fuck what your reason is. It should not be allowed. It should not be tolerated. And things need to change. It's a basic human right issue. Like, people deserve to be treated with respect. Especially if these people working is the only thing keeping your company, your billions of dollars flowing, then treat them with some damn kindness. They've already authorized the right to strike, so now it's just, do they strike? We'll see what happens, but it's going to be interesting. They'll shut down everything. I mean, it's the entire entertainment industry will be affected by this. I mean, when the writers go on strike, there's still stuff that has already been written that they can film. But how do you make a movie without a crew? Trust me, I've tried. It's not easy. But I'll put a link to the Instagram thing. You should read these people's stories and the things that they're going through. They're really terrifying to read and heartbreaking. These are people who are working in a profession that is glamorized, that everyone looks at and is like, that must be so awesome to be in. But that doesn't make it okay to treat people like this. These people are professionals, and they are doing something that is hard and skilled, and should be compensated as such. And you keep hearing Hollywood talk about how they're trying to diversify, and they want to tell other stories, and they want to create a more inclusive environment. The truth is, though, if you don't give people a livable wage, and you don't let people have normal lives outside of work, if you don't stop acting like an industry full of Jeff Bezos who think that work should be your whole life, then you will not get the diversity you're looking for. You will not expand out, because especially in New York and California, people can't afford to live by themselves on just above minimum wage. It's not possible. So if you want to bring people in from different walks of life and different ethnicities, you have to give people a wage that they can support themselves. And a lot of times, while trying to get to the above the line jobs, you work below the line jobs. So how do you expect people to get in if you financially keep them out? If you punish them for not coming from rich families? Then it just makes you wonder how much of what you say is what you really want, and how much are you saying for ratings? Do you really care about inclusion and diversity, or do you just say that so that people will give you money so that you can pat yourself on the back for being a good person? I follow a lot of celebrities online, and it's disheartening to see how so many of them are completely ignoring this issue. I listen to a lot of podcasts that talk about this stuff, and a lot of them aren't saying anything about it. Script Notes has been talking about, it's a writing podcast. They're not on set as often, so they've been talking about assistance pay for almost a year now, about how it's inhumane, and a lot of this stuff they've been talking about, mostly in regards to assistance, but it is more industry-wide. But besides them, I don't see a lot of people in the industry talking about this, and it's kind of disgusting. They should do better. But that's just my 2 cents. I don't know why I made a video where I just talk shit about rich corporations that I would one day like to work at, but what's wrong is wrong. I don't know. Anyways, I'm Jonathan. Give us Legends, which, since I spent this whole video talking shit about Disney, I'm sure will never happen. Take it easy.